Welcome to the iHemp Hour. My name is Dave Craybill with iHemp Michigan. iHemp Michigan's mission is to educate, inform, and promote the research, development, and cultivation of industrial hemp here in Michigan. iHemp Michigan advocates for wellness in people and the planet through hemp, and it begins with the farmer. We ask you to please support our advocacy and join iHemp Michigan. We have new membership plans available. Business members receive a listing in our business directory, which is actively searched by thousands of visitors. Our first order of business, we're going to touch base with the cannabis side of things, the other side of the point three, and we have a big day coming up, Mike.
Yeah, we do. It's a little bit lower key than what people were expecting for 420, but got to deal with the pandemic, right? But let me start off with one of the companies that I think was a sponsor. I'm not sure if they still are, Veritas Labs. They just this week they got their Bay City laboratory accredited by the state, so that gives them two. I think they have one in Lansing, one in Bay City, and so a bunch of ex-Michigan state troopers in the crime lab. So if they don't know how to test this stuff, then nobody does, right? So congratulations to them. Also, wanted to mention a couple of things. There's one of our sponsors from Michigan Marijuana Report, Cloud Cannabis, is starting on Friday of this week, is offering BOGOs, buy one, get one. So they've got 4 facilities open right now in the state, and if you go to cloudcannabis.com, each day they have a different BOGO going on at each of the particular provisioning centers, so you can celebrate 420 properly. Also,
little help for a friend, maybe.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. You could buy one, give one to your friend or your mother or your dad, get them involved, whatever, whoever you're into, so. And then Highlight Farms, which is a multi-state operator, very big operation, has just come out with, just in time for 420, some THC-infused chocolate pretzels. Now, I'm a big chocolate pretzel fan. I would be afraid once I start, it'd be like eating peanuts, and the things would go south in a hurry, right? So you'd pop a whole bunch of them, and then half an hour later, you're like dancing around the room or something. Now, I think that would be good for Blaine. I'd love to see Blaine dancing around the room there, but
that would not be a pretty sight.
Not a pretty sight. Okay.
Kind of like Jay's potato chips. You just can't eat one, So.
It's it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Those chocolate-covered infused THC, that already I can see that would be bad. So, and then also there's something coming up. There's the Caros Cannabis, I can do it, Film Festival is coming up on the 18th. And then as part of that nonprofit organization's activities to raise money, they're going to have the High 5K run on Belle Isle on August 5th. That will be an interesting race. I may go watch that one just to kind of report on it. But not running. No, I don't do running anymore. So, but that's it. This sort of 420 is next Tuesday, of course. And then we have a show. My show, 420 Post, is on Wednesday, the 21st, and we're going to be announcing that the Cannabis Coalition is coming in behind the Hero Project to back it. That's our project to work with cannabis provisioning centers and producers and whatnot to come up with the money that we then will funnel to various veterans charities. And it also covers the social equity element that the MRA license requires for provisioning centers. So it does both things, right? But the veterans benefit by being able to get various monies available for those charities so they can do their good works. So that'll be my show next week. So, Blaine, I think you're next, right?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of news, and then we'll save some for the end of the show because I always hate taking time away from our guests when we do that. But so one of the big things I want to announce is next Thursday, the 22nd, we're going to try to do a live show that's Earth Day at Mid-Michigan Hemp Supply in Midland. And on the site, we're going to have some food available and hopefully some other goodies and a nice swag bag if you show up. So there's a little cost to members and a little more cost to people that aren't members, but certainly you can join and save a little bit there. We're looking forward to that. It's going to be the first in-person meeting that we've had. We're going to be using all the protocol that we need to be doing, which is going to be masked, and we'll have hemp masks available for purchase if you need them there. And then also we're going to be social distancing and playing the rules that we need to play when we have an in-person event for that. So we hope all of you can make it out. It's going to be a fun day. And I think it'll be a great day for us all to get together and do some, what we refer to as hemp working instead of networking. So we're also going to be recording and playing regulation so much as how to go about certifying your crop at the FSA office this year. That's one of the requirements under the program. So it's really pretty simple to do, but if you've never dealt with the office before, just a few things you've got to do to go in and make sure they get your farm registered, and you'll be able to certify your crops again, which is one of the new requirements under the program. So what's also interesting this last week is that there's been $500,000 as a down payment to reestablish the U.S. hemp seed bank. So this is pretty interesting. The Agricultural Research Service of USDA is receiving $500,000 in initial federal funding to create the nation's only industrial seed bank at Cornell Ag Tech as part of New York's Cornell University system that researches food and agriculture. So nice that they're stepping up to do that. And we'll have a nice seed bank for the future as we go into that. So another thing I'd like to announce is that we have taken some steps. We're kind of growing up here a little bit. We have formed a board, and we're going to have a number of committees that are going to be happening as well. So if anybody's interested in serving on any kind of committees that we're going to be having, please let us know. It takes all of us to make this thing work. It takes a village to raise a child, they say, right? So same kind of thing here. Our board, I'll just kind of announce them. You can find this information on the iHemp website. Oops, there we go. That's not what I wanted. View child, they say, right? So same kind of thing. Trying to get to my screen so I can read the names right.
Did you want to share your screen? And then
that's what I'm trying to do, but
You want me to share it?
Yes, Dave, would you?
I would be glad to.
I'm a little technical challenged at times, usually not, but today is one of those days.
All right, so we have a new about page.
So you go to Michigan and about is over there on the left-hand top, and scroll down. A lot of good stuff.
Man, I just can't wait for next January when we can do our expo again for real.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So we have a new board of directors.
Wow, who's that handsome guy there? Oh, that's Dave. Okay, all right.
I assumed President Blaine
The Emperor. Yeah, you got them all
likes
there.
this rule. What's your rule, Blaine?
He who has the gold makes the rules.
There you
It's
go.
called the golden rule. You know, who has the gold
He can do whatever the hell he wants, right? You know.
So, we brought in Jen Nelson from Mid-Michigan Hemp Supply. She's just a spark plug and so knowledgeable and willing to help out. It's just a real quality person. Can't be happier with everyone on the board. It's been incredible. Christina Cachetti, she's a marketer extraordinaire. So, between Jen and Christina, we have two really strong VPs. Becky Bechtold, we couldn't get any of this stuff done without our Becky. So, thank you. She's always there to help. She's learning so much about working on websites. So, big help. Fabio Rodi, he's with his medical background, is understanding cannabinoids and processing. He's an invaluable resource. Gregory Michard from Viridis, he's it's an organization that has some serious resources, and he's willing to leverage them to help. Some of the things that he's doing, that Michigan Safe Cannabis organization. I might have the name wrong, but he's doing a lot of really cool things in the space, and real happy to have him involved. And of course, our mentor, our oracle, John Freeman. John, I think he's in Florida again. He's always traveling. He's off somewhere. But
I saw a post. I think he's in Alabama or something right now, or something. Alabama.
I can't keep up with him. He's yeah.
love to live his life one of these days, huh? So we're very excited that we've been able to form that. We're putting in the paperwork to be nonprofit, and so taking those next steps to.
Yeah, and we're brought into the Hemp Roundtable.
Yeah, and so
US
we're excited to where everything's going, and we're still excited to see what's going to happen with Michigan and hemp in the hemp space for sure. I want to remind everybody about the trials you can get into, the research this year, the Midwest Hemp Database. We'll have that up there so you can get on that if you want to participate in that. They've partnered with a couple labs to get your testing done at a reduced rate. I think it's $35 for that. Of course, got to pay for the shipping to get it over there, but it just helps us build that database so we can find those good genetics that are going to be able to have everybody be safe as they grow and keep under the compliance part of that we have there. What else have we got coming up, Dave? The next meeting after the next iHemp hour after that will be, of course, April 29th. And we're going to have Greg Dean from the Hemp Plastic Company. That'll be another great show to let everybody know just really what's happening and what's available and where this is all going to in the future. So
we had our first hemp working event last Saturday, and we have another one scheduled. Do you have a date for that in front of you?
No, I don't remember.
We'll do that at the end. I'll find the date.
I think it was the 8th or the 15th. I think the 15th.
Hempwood there, Dave. It's a really nice background that you have there. And then
yeah, isn't that cool? It's a real thing. It's not fake.
Yes, the real deal. So.
Real deal. Yeah, I still have to get my logos up there. So
I want to remind everybody again about Andrew Simmons has kind of has a unique opportunity available for anybody. He's looking to partner with an entity who wants to get with an established business, with an established SOP. He's open to offers, and he could consider selling outright, leasing, sell with lease back, or strategic partnership. He's been growing for about 2 years now, and they got about 18 acres up there. So Andrew Simmons on that. We'll get that information up there. His phone number is 313-673-9861. We'll get that up in the chat. We'll have it up on the website as well. Also, don't forget the classifieds that we have up there. Really inexpensive way. It's $5 to throw your information up there. If you're looking for something, looking to sell, looking to buy, may have some big news next week. There's somebody that kind of has made an interest that they're looking for. Anybody has last year's biomass available, and we'll know more about that next week. So,
I think you got about 20,000 pounds left over, don't you? Didn't you say that before?
What's that?
Didn't you say you had like 20,000 pounds of biomass left over or something? Or
I don't, but I know a lot of people that do have that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I know Alpha Farms does. Yeah, at least 10,000.
Hemp working event is the 15th. Dave, May 15th will be the next hemp working event.
May 15th. Yeah, it's like our Hempies celebration on steroids. Everyone gets to network and share, and then we just hang out and have a good time. So
yeah, it's great to be able to do that and be able to share a lot of stuff. So we had a good discussion about terpenes on that one, so that was kind of interesting on that.
We did, yeah. Yeah.
So I got some more stuff at the end of the show, but I don't want to delay Tess from getting down there. So Dave.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us on the iHemp Hour. Tess Bennett from Hemp Grower magazine. She's the editor. Their parent company also has the Cannabis Business Times and Dispensary magazine. You're down in that Buckeye state there, aren't you?
We don't name that state. So the state down south, we don't
name. Cincinnati. You're in Cleveland, right?
That's right. Yes, we are.
With the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, right up there with it. Yes.
All right. So how are things today?
Things are going well. You guys have some good news here on this podcast. I was taking notes while you guys were talking. A lot of good ideas. Yeah.
So how did you get involved in this crazy hemp business, Tess?
So I studied journalism at Kent State University. So I've been in journalism about 5 years now. Started out at a newspaper and worked my way to GIE Media, which is our company. that I work at. And I started off at a different group of magazines there. And, in my time working in journalism, I wound up freelancing a couple stories about cannabis, about some local people who are interested in cannabis, getting into the business. And I spoke with one woman who said she was just so excited about hemp. And this was right when the Farm Bill had passed. So it had just the 2018 Farm Bill. So it opened up, and she was just telling me all the amazing things that can be done with hemp. And before then, I hadn't really realized all of these things were possible. So it just so happened to work out that my company was starting a hemp magazine. So I just kind of worked my way up and got into the industry.
Yeah. So how long has Hemp Grower magazine been around?
So we launched in November of 2019. That was our first print publication, and we started our website a little before then. So coming up on 2 years.
So you offer both print and a digital version of your magazine?
Yes.
And
yes.
Is there a subscription cost, or how's that work?
So it is free to anybody who's in the industry. So all you need to do is go to our website and sign up for a subscription. And yeah.
Cool. So let's in the last, since you've been with them, what's been the most impactful story that you've run across and that you've seen for hemp?
That's a hard one because things are always, it's so new. Things are always changing. There's always some really good news coming out. I think, I guess the obvious answer would be the final rule being established. You had the interim final rule, which was a huge deal, laying down the groundwork for regulations and everything. And then recently the USDA put out its final rule. So, I think overall that's, just has the big impact on the industry, and definitely curious to see where that takes things, and what states will do with these new flexibilities in the final rule. So, yeah.
Exciting. Yep. It's good to see they got the DEA almost out of there. So yeah, that delay. I know that's been a really big, issue in the industry. So yeah, it seems they're sort of working towards, I don't know, some resolution to that. So. So you guys cover the whole country?
Yes, we cover North America. So, mainly the US, but we do get into some of Canadian operations. So yeah, mostly North America.
Do they grow hemp in Mexico? I have no idea. Do they?
Gosh, that's a good question. We really don't cover a whole lot of Mexico. So I really do need, they do grow there, I believe. But Canada,
there was actually some recent news, like within the last week or so, Mike. There's some action going on there with the whole cannabis scene in Mexico. It looks like they're opening up.
Legal cannabis. Yeah, that's Mexico's going that way. I was just curious if they're also doing hemp down there. I haven't seen many articles come by about Mexican hemp, so I was just, if Tess knew, I was just curious is all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe what's going on is like they legalize it, but the regulations aren't there yet. So really no framework.
Right. Yeah. It's still in development.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's unfortunately, and we probably won't go down that road, but just corruption, in all forms of government, is a potential issue.
Yeah.
And it's probably even worse there. So.
Yeah, but Canada is really interesting because they sort of have the experience that we don't have. So definitely cool to see what they've done with their industry and how ours has sort of developed in a different way. So that's an interesting dynamic going on.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
Tess,
adult use cannabis is also legal. Adult use cannabis is legal in Canada. I can do it. So I mean, you got both things going.
Right. Yeah, just great.
so Tess, as well as being the editor kind of thing, do you do the reporting as well and do some of the stories yourself?
Yeah, so I actually just became editor a couple months ago, so still sort of transitioning away from my previous role, which was doing a lot of writing, stories and everything. So I do write, a lot less than I was a few months ago. But yeah, still working on writing stories and everything, but also a lot of, editing, of course, and just sort of corresponding with other people in the industry and things like that.
Have you been able to attend any live events or have you been with the COVID stuff? Have you been staying away from those as well?
Yeah, we've pretty much been kind of staying home still. Have not really ventured out to many events. I think the only cannabis event I've been to was our cannabis conference. I think that was in 2019. So yeah, I'm definitely getting ready to get out to go to some stuff. So
COVID fatigue, they call it. Everyone's kind of ready to go, but unfortunately, COVID's not working out with our plans.
no, yeah, it's not. But the vaccine rollout's giving me some hope, so it's going well in Ohio.
Well, we'll get you some pictures from the Earth Day event that you can put in the in the article there and put that in there. Give people hope that it's coming.
Yeah.
Dave attended the one out in Colorado, so and then we know some other ones are coming up. So we'll see what happens right now. We seem to be a little hot spot here in the United States and Michigan right now. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, in your home state of Ohio, it seems like they have some real challenges. They're trying to treat hemp, regulate it more like marijuana. Is my understanding correct?
So I think what's just going on is it's still new in our state. I believe it was, I think with the 2018 Farm Bill that sort of opened it up in our state. I can't remember if the first growing season was 2019 or 2020, but just with it being so new, I think there is some hesitancy there. We also do not have adult use cannabis legalized here yet. So, they're still hesitant to fully legalize cannabis. And then with the, I guess, confusion that hemp presents with law enforcement, I think that's just, I think they're still just trying to work all of that out.
We have a lot of Ohioans crossing the border to the counties along the border to buy marijuana and take it back home. So it's actually a pretty thriving market along the border.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hempgrower.com is your website, correct?
Yes, it is.
And let's talk about your distribution. If I want to reach, I have a product or something that I want to reach hemp growers. What's your readership like? So I imagine if you're doing free subscriptions, your advertising is how you pay the freight. You got to pay the freight somehow, right?
Right. Yep. With advertisers. So a lot of our readership is farmers, farmers cultivating hemp. We have some researchers studying hemp who read our stuff. And then we have, I believe, processors are mixed in there, things like that. So a pretty good, audience all along the pipeline. So as far as products going up on our website, we do have a vendor news section, which is where we sort of post press releases and things like that. So, if we are open to receiving press releases from people, if they have a new product line or something that they're launching, and we can put it on our vendor news section. So yeah, we're totally open to any news, any product launches, whatever anybody wants to send our way.
I see one of your lead stories is Delta 8. That's the big controversy right now. It's sort of marijuana light. And I was just reading a story from the Chicago Sun-Times that in Illinois, they line up around the block to buy Delta 8, So, and we're looking at it here in Michigan because it comes from hemp, right? And it produces some of the same effects as a more potent THC, but we're not sure if the feds are going to step in, which they probably will, and stomp on it, right, and eliminate that. So we have a lot of cannabis companies that are debating whether they should even get into Delta 8 because I think it's going to be such a short-term sort of thing before the feds come in, right?
Yeah, we'll see with that. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. It's definitely such a hot topic in the industry right now. I think it's giving farmers opportunities that, if they maybe were unable to sell their biomass, CBD biomass, I think it presents an alternative market for them to sell into. And, even before the whole Delta 8 thing, I was wondering, there's so much talk about CBD regulations, but you have all of these other cannabinoids. And, just curious to see if those will all be regulated the same or, if we're going to start getting different regulations for different cannabinoids. So it's very interesting. Yeah, be curious to see how it plays out.
I thought the article on the Brightmar Farms was quite nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, he was great to work with. Yeah.
So so the magazine's available digitally and in print as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And what does it cost if you want to get the print subscription to it?
So it's free. It's free for anybody in the industry. So
you mail that to people, or do they pick it up at provisioning centers or farmers, or what?
We mail it. Yep, we'll mail it right to you.
It's your address right here.
Yep.
I think I must have just subscribed to the digital. I didn't know you get the other one. So
yeah.
I have one on my desk. Let's see. I can't find my desk lately.
Too much mail?
I was just going to mention I've had this stomach bug the last few days, and I grew a CBG plant, and I thought, I'm going to try that. I smoked some of the CBG, and it's like it was too weird. It's like it instantly created relief for me. I don't know if it was psychological, but it was like, wow, because I had heard CBG is good for your gut.
Well, okay.
So
wow.
I saw that on one of your vendor, because everybody's pivoting. It felt like everybody's pivoting to CBG in a large way this last growing season, because that's the new cannabinoid, higher value. Of course, that market just gets crushed, like every other market, because everybody grows. But yeah.
Have you guys heard a lot about CBN at all?
I just ordered some from Velasic Labs. I have a small brand. I can just help, a small group of clientele out with, and for sleepy time. Yeah. So CBN. So, what do you know about that?
Not a whole lot at this point. I'm just sort of hearing a little bit about that. Seems to be another up and coming cannabinoid. I spoke to someone who said, he produces it, but he said that's like his favorite one. So just curious to see if anyone here has tried that at all.
Yeah, it's more of a, more for the sleepy time effect, so like I don't know if ran across Adam Rosenberg, but he set up Velasic Labs here in southeastern Michigan, and with the Velasic family. They're more known for pickles, but I guess they're
pickle people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's, so I'm going to do I still have a lot of CBD distillate from my 2019 grow, so I'm going to do a combination of CBD and CBN, because we all need help sleeping.
Yeah.
Yes.
especially now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you guys were talking about how there's a lot of, oversupply in the market. That's something that we're hearing a lot too, just everywhere. So sounds like it's a huge issue right now.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed on your website. You have this map of the where do you get your data for this?
So we divided this up as a team, and we reached out to every state Department of Agriculture to get their numbers. Definitely sort of large effort. But, what was interesting about this is just seeing all the different data that states are tracking and how it does not line up. They're not lining up with one another. Like some states will only track acres grown and not acres licensed, or vice versa. Some states, don't track the processors they have. Some get real detailed with the breakdown of like fiber versus cannabinoid production, things like that. This is, at this point, it does look a little bit like a patchwork of data because that's kind of just how it is throughout the country right now. But yeah, we plan to keep this updated, definitely regularly, at least yearly, if not maybe try reaching out multiple times a year. But
No, these are 2020 numbers.
yes. Mm-hmm.
That really looks like 2000. Oh, what, 2020? I'm thinking of 2021. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know there was a lot of indoor. They should have provided you with indoor numbers.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the indoor numbers, Blaine? It wasn't it over 1 million square feet?
What's that, Dave? What numbers?
The indoor square feet licensed.
I thought it was, I could probably look back at the deck, but it was a very large number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's been problems, and a lot of people don't report Michigan numbers. They had some errors in their database. Some things got catawampus in 2019, and they were reporting some bad data. So I think everybody stopped reporting numbers from Michigan for a while. So.
Oh, yeah.
Probably in another week or two here, Dave, we could probably maybe we could request some numbers from the department, see if they can release those.
Get Molly on, and
pretty much by June 1st, right? You're pretty much gonna be planting by then or not, or no, you're gonna. So
yeah.
With your readers and your contacts, what do you think the the biggest question in the market is right now? What the biggest hot points?
Probably the biggest question is, should I grow hemp this year? Just because of all the oversupply, and there's still so much focus on the CBD market. But I think we will really truly start to see this year some diversity in what hemp growers are growing for, as far as like fiber versus grain versus cannabinoids, and even diversity in what cannabinoids they're growing for and producing. I think another big issue is still genetics and getting the right genetics for the right area and making sure that it's right for your area. Yeah, and you mentioned the Midwestern Hemp Database, which we've written about a couple of times now, and I just think that's such an interesting project. I would love to see that duplicated in the different regions of the U.S. because I think it's really needed. But yeah, I think overall the biggest question is just sort of, should I even pursue this again this year? People just have so much product left over from the past few years. So yeah.
I'm a city boy. I don't grow hemp, but I've been doing this show with these guys for a year, so I have a better understanding. And in my mind, part of what's the issue is farmers, when they grow corn or soybean or anything like that, they have contracts at the end of the harvest. They already know who they're going to sell to. That seems to be one of the real big missing pieces in the hemp industry, from my understanding.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's really sort of the answer to this question is, well, do you have a buyer? Then yes, you should grow. If you don't, then you probably shouldn't. And yeah, I mean, I think that definitely is like the biggest issue. There's still such a disconnect with the supply chain at this point. So
Yeah, we're trying to get the automakers in Detroit really interested in that because right now there's a few of the premium brands are using hemp in lieu of plastics and composites, both in exterior and interior. But GM and Ford and heck, I'm not even sure what Chrysler's called anymore. It keeps getting bought by somebody, and the name keeps changing. But the big three, as it were, not really embracing that yet. If they did, that would change a lot of things, certainly in Michigan and probably in the whole Great Lakes states, because they'd need a tremendous amount, right?
right, yeah, I would think. I guess, I wonder how much hemp they're actually sort of using in, the car makers that are starting to branch out into this. I do wonder how much hemp they're using, what it's sort of mixed with. We would definitely like to, write about that, working on getting connected with some, automotive companies that are trying to do this.
Well, I can help you make those connections if you want, so we'll talk afterwards. So
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
I'm a former Detroit Free Press auto writer, so
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
Got to connect.
Tess, if somebody has an interesting story that they think you'd like to carry or might be interesting to your subscription, how do they get a hold of you? How would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, just definitely just sending me an email with like a couple paragraphs about what they're doing. Um, you know, that's about it. I'm totally open to story pitches and would love to dig into, the specific things that are going on in different states. And so always looking for an interesting, we have a department in our magazine called End Product. And it's basically where we highlight all the different end uses of hemp. So we've written about the hemp wood out of Kentucky. We've written, we're working on writing about hempcrete. So things like that we're especially interested in, like on the fiber side specifically. And but other than that, always looking for farmers to connect with. So yeah, I would say anybody definitely just send me an email. I don't know if I can put it in
I
the
can put it on it.
Yeah, there's a
if you put it
chatter.
in
This chat,
I'll
it just
copy it to the,
on it. Well, I can see a story in the future about somebody doing something with some plastic and making frisbees. So for end use, I can
right. Yeah.
see a
Gosh,
story.
wouldn't that be wonderful, Dave Crable?
frisbees are the way, yeah.
That's it. That's Dave's venture, so that's what we're alluding to
Well,
here.
speaking of that, let's talk about our sponsors. So iHemp
Oh, yes.
Manufacturing is actually one of our sponsors.
So you can do your shameless plug now, Dave. Go ahead.
So we're going to production. We thought actually we were going to go to production yesterday, but we're waiting on some color additive issues. So, but we have, we're going to have a lot of frisbees very soon, and we have some private label clients that we're printing some frisbees for, and can be more excited about it. We can also do reclaimed ocean plastics, and we're doing a few different varieties of, density, percentages of hemp fiber in the frisbee, to do some testing, because you don't want your frisbee to be brittle, right? So we're working all those details out. It's an exciting project, and frisbees are the way. So go to ihempmanufacturing.com, ihempmfg.com. I'll put that in the on the website here.
That might be something Tess's company could be interested in. Put your logo on there and your information on those frisbees. I don't get any commission here for this. I'm just throwing.
Hemp Grower frisbee would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be. That'd be super.
Yeah.
We also want to thank Film Organic is one of our sponsors as well. I had a great show with them a couple weeks ago. That would be the April 1st show that we did. Learned a whole lot from that interview with them, and they've got some great products out there if you're doing mulch plastic. And another great tip that I learned there is about using that craft paper underneath there to keep that nutsedge from coming up through. So, so again, a great show on that. And Film Organics, it's totally compostable, not only biodegradable, but compostable in the field. Big difference between those two situations. So
Yeah,
that's
interesting to learn.
Yeah,
And they have that with the black layer right in the very center and the white on the outsides. It seemed like that was...
reverse it, white on the inside, black on the outside.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not what I saw in the picture.
No? Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. I could be.
We
I
could
have been
do a
once.
video
I have been
about
once
that.
before. I thought I was, but then I found out I was mistaken. So yeah. So
Yeah. So they've got it dialed in, and they sound like they're very knowledgeable. They've been doing it a little while. So
yeah.
And then, of course, there's the Highway vodka, which I'm still waiting for that bottle to come in the mail. But I know that's another interesting derivative of hemp, right? So,
speaking of that,
yeah,
Mike,
Tess, if you haven't covered that story, that's a good one with the guys down in Texas.
I did write about them actually, that was a cool story.
yeah.
Well, I know I really like
have some bottles around here somewhere.
subscription. Every
Okay,
week.
keep
Helps
me in
with-
mind there, Dave. I'm down in Ann Arbor. I'm only about 60 miles away. So,
We're actually, Mike, I'm going to be down in your neighborhood because there's a company in Ypsilanti.
yep, right around the corner here, 5
that
miles.
sells all kinds of disc golf stuff, and they're going to be one of our retailers.
Really?
Frisbees.
When's that going to be, Dave?
Well, I gotta make some frisbees.
Got to make them first, Mike.
Oh, right. Yeah. Good point. So,
Oh.
So
May,
the
we're
other
looking at
bottle will
May,
be
right, or something like that, right?
Give me
It'll be evaporated somehow. Is what's going to happen on that bottle.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to get to it before he does. So,
JD Ackley is backing me up on the website, Blaine. Black was on the inside.
Okay, all right.
Because
I stand corrected.
I think you need the heat. The heat was like, or whatever, was right next to the plant, but on the outside where you'd have that open area, the reflection, you're not getting that reflection. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But that's what I saw.
All right.
JD agrees with me. So
All right. Hey,
who gets one?
I'm going to bow to JD. JD's a new member of iHemp, and they've got a planting, harvesting service.
He'll be a sponsor, I think.
Yeah.
Right,
So
JD?
we got to get his sponsor up there on the back up there. So interesting. We're going to have them on in a few weeks, and we're going to be talking. We're going to have a much bigger discussion on the terpenes on that one.
Cool.
For sure.
Yeah,
New River. JD, did you get a hold of the New River? See if they want to play with us on the show. That's May the 6th is when that is. See if he responds to that or not. So, yeah. So that'll be very interesting. There seems to be a little bit of market for the terpenes. So
Heat for roots, as Ray explained it.
what's that?
The black in the middle is heat for roots.
Oh yeah. Okay. That would make sense.
No.
I have dyslexia, so not only do I do letters backwards, I also do colors. And
And I'm just visual, so I could read it, it won't make sense, but if I see it, it'll make sense.
so yeah. So JD's got he's got a planning service and a harvesting service, and we'll be welcoming them to the family. It was a great show. Great to have him on the hemp working the other night. It's fun to have that.
That was
I
lovely.
think we've got and then Westtown Bank also. We had them on a couple weeks ago. So.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for any kind of financing, they certainly are welcome to work with hemp growers. So if you're having any issues with your present bank or you want to expand, Westtown Bank.
They just became a silver corporate sponsor of iHemp Michigan. Thank you very much, Westtown Bank. We need that help.
So Tess, I'll give you a shameless plug in the sense of since you're advertising based for your products, what sort of rates do you give us a ballpark figure if anybody would be interested, because they'd get a national presence in your magazine, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you would want to just email me about advertising rates, I would be happy to send those over and get you connected with our sales team. I also just want to say that we have announced our debut Hemp Grower conference. So that will be happening later this year, November 8th through 10th in Orlando.
Hmm.
And we have a great education, lineup. We have a lot of education sessions that we're planning. It's going to be 2.5 days. We'll also have an expo hall. So if anybody is interested in, participating in that, please let me know too, and I'll get you connected.
So you have a Disneyland package that is included in that or anything like that?
I wish. That'd be
Okay.
awesome. I know.
Well, that's a
But
good
yeah.
place to be in November.
Yes.
That's right. That's
Much
right.
better than Cleveland or Detroit, right?
Exactly.
Do you know more details about that? Like what facility it's going to be held at or anything at this point?
Yes. So it will be the Rosin Center Hotel in Orlando.
Okay.
Yes. So those are the main details. We have a great advisory board who's helping us with, creator education sessions, including Bear Reel from Charlotte's Web, Jeff Kostwick from Hemp Production Services. So, it's going to be, whatever we're going to be teaching about it all, the fiber, the grain, the cannabinoid side. So
Yeah.
something for everyone.
Have you seen any movement on financing and investment? Because that seems to be, on the fiber side, that's what we need. We don't have regulation issues. We have supply chain issues where we need massive investment in decortication and processing.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen like a huge push for that yet. I know, my gosh, it's slipping my mind. Jeff Whaling of the National Hemp Association. I know he was involved at one point with trying to help build out the supply chain for fiber in particular. I think COVID certainly puts some things on hold or presented some challenges. I would like to check back in with him to see where that stands. But other than that, I haven't heard, about a big investment initiative yet for that side of things. It mostly seems to be, smaller like decortication sites and processing facilities popping up just around the country. And I think that presents issues too, because the facilities need to be where the growers are, basically.
Have you covered Mohawk Paper? They participated in our expo in January, and they're setting up facilities in Ohio, is what I understand, and that's they're going to be doing paper pulping, and they can throw off the. I wrote this down because it came up again. Because so from fiber we can get cellulose. Help me out. Xylitol, lignin, and different heavy cellulose. Plus of course the bast fiber. All out. From that. So they have a process to separate all those different. I guess there's that is the one that starts with a Z is like a sugar. Does that sound right? I don't know enough to be.
Yes, there is sugars involved in in all that.
Yeah, so all these little.
I'm not a chemist, but
streams.
I like science stuff, but I'm not a chemist.
Yeah, complex. But I have not.
I will send you some information on Mohawk Paper, our contact. It was really interesting what they're doing, and the same kind of thing. He has a spot marked in Ohio, and then within 50 miles they'll grow enough crop to feed the plant, and he'll be producing paper and then providing these other ancillary products.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that sounds super interesting.
Yeah, that'd be a good follow-up story.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tess, I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us and sharing some of the tips. And it's always interesting to find out how your reporters get your inside story on stuff. So
they're asking for Tess's email in the chat.
Thank you.
Tess, I guess Becky says in the chat we're having a request for Tess's email.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We can
If
get
you
that in.
toss it in the chat here, I'll
Yes.
copy and paste it. Or, or I have it right.
Chat that we do, Tess, would just be for the.
Oh, you already did. Never
I
mind.
just put it in. Yep.
Oh,
beautiful.
sweet.
Thank you.
Oh, I see it on the panelists. It's gone to the other side too.
Not yet.
Everybody's got it.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for this opportunity too. This was super fun, and yeah, just welcome anybody to reach out with any sort of story ideas, questions, whatever you need.
Yeah, we'll have a press release later today announcing our new board formation. So we'll get that over to you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
Thank you. Cool.
appreciate any support. We keep pushing the envelope. Making things happen.
No, you don't want to leave yet, Tess, because the best part of the show is coming up. The Hemp
No,
Grower
No.
will be doing-
The best part of the show was Tess by far.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, the second best part of the show. will be
Okay, I'll
coming
take
up.
second best.
How about
All right.
just using?
We'll take second best. So just a little bit more news I want to share with everybody before we get into the final part of the show here. So I was able to do a little research with USDA and talk to them. So if you grew hemp in 2020, then the CFAP program, you are available to apply for that. So you may have grown, but you may not have reported to the FSA office. You'll need to do that. They'll walk you through that process. There may be a small fee involved with just getting that done, but it's not very much. But if you grew hemp in 2020, then you can apply for that. And you have it until May, I think I want to say May 16th, but sometime in May is when that sign up ends. So again, if you grew in 2020, you might want to apply for that. Tess, that may be a story you might want to follow up on and get out to your subscribers. There's also a new CBD store that opened up in Fremont, Michigan. They had a special last week while they were opening up, and in another few months, we'll have another store that'll be opening up in Berrien Springs that we'll probably cover a little bit on that as well. So some of the other ones that were kind of important that came up this last week that I found is USDA came out with their assistance to farmers of color. It's called the American Rescue Plan Debt Payments. The American Rescue Plan includes provisions for USDA to pay up to 120% of loan balances as of January 1st, 2021 for Farm Service Agency direct and guaranteed loans and farm storage facility loans, debt relief to any socially disadvantaged producer who has a qualifying loan with FSA. So if you have a loan with FSA, then you want to just give them a contact. It's going to pretty much be automatically done, but you might want to just follow up with them and see if there's anything they need you to do. But pretty much it's going to be an automatic review of the loans, and some debt relief will be coming to those. So just want to make you aware of that. Tonight's movie, it's movie night with Sustainability Now. It's From Waste Stream to Circular Economy with Jay Porter, co-founder of eCore. These come on at 7 o'clock Eastern time, and it is on the Sustainability Now website. This should be a pretty good one for that. Also, if you haven't already, there is a petition that's out there to have farm aid to make industrial hemp the focus of this year's event. You go to www.change.org. You can find where to sign up on that and put your name onto that request to get farm aid to highlight hemp this year for hemp farmers. And with that,
Share. And that HR 841, share that. Let's get that. Have you done any stories on that? Where CBD is just a supplement. We're going to do an end around FDA is the way I view it. It's probably not accurate, but the regulation for CBD is a big part of the issue.
Right. Yes. Yes, I believe that's the national.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Yes, we've written on that. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something we need.
Definitely.
Is it time for the Hemperor?
is it time for that? Are we at that point of the show?
I think we are.
All right. Well, again, Tess, I want to thank you.
Drum roll there, So
I want to thank you very much for taking your time on there. Let's see if there's just anything else of importance I want to talk about. We've always talked about the market having to develop and having to come on, and Montana had passed a bill advancing hemp as animal feed. So we'll see where that process goes with that. That'll be interesting to see. We want to get that going just as quickly as we can for that market to develop as well. So
Yeah, I know the Hemp Feed Coalition looks like they're, fast tracked would be 2 years at least before we are approved for poultry.
yeah, but it's going to come. It's going to happen.
That's a fast track.
We just got to keep supporting and keep pushing it. So
have you covered Hemp Feed Coalition, Hunter Buffington?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Well, here we go then.
All right.
Here we go. All right.
See?
So today's recipe is coming from Hemp Nut Cookbook. I'm going to work with them. I want them to come on the show. I think that they've done so much great work with getting all these recipes. So we're going to have them on the show and then sometime in the future. But this is a Hip Squares. It's a great little snack. It's perfect for packing in lunch boxes, or if you're just having the kids over, the grandkids like I do. By the way, I want to give a little update on my banana thing that I had a couple weeks ago did.
Did it pass the grandchildren test? Did they go for it?
Well, it was pretty much a disaster. I got to rework
it
a little bit. So the pictures I don't even want to show. It would just make people cringe and but this was pretty simple. I like simple recipes. So this thing makes about 16 squares. You use a cup of rolled oats and a cup of raw pumpkin seeds, half a cup of coarsely chopped pecans, 2 cups of brown rice syrup, a half a cup of shelled hemp seeds, 2 tablespoons sesame seed, a pinch of sea salt, and a scant pinch of ground cinnamon. Preheat the oven to 325. And we'll have the rest of the recipe up there on the site so you can see that. Pretty simple one to make, and I think it's going to be pretty yummy. So,
now, Tess, if you want to link to their Hemperor's recipes, they are online, and we do this every week, and it's all sorts of really yummy stuff. So,
hey, Becky says that the Hip Squares are up there already somewhere.
Ooh, how quickly that happened! Yes.
Which one?
Hip Squares. You can find them, but that's all right.
All this stuff looks so good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying that I think your national audience would go for this, right?
We'll be covering the blueberry ones again. Blueberry season's coming, so we'll be covering that one pretty good when that comes. So, want to thank everybody for being on the show. We want to thank our sponsors again: iHemp Manufacturing, Film Organics, Westtown Bank, and JD Acker. And let's see, next week again, we're going to do the live show. So it's always interesting. Of course, these are always live, but I guess on the road, I should say, right?
On the road? Oh, you're going to do a remote then, right?
Yeah, we're going to do a remote. Thank you.
Okay.
I have the proper verbiage, don't I? Yeah. And then the week after that will be the Hemp Plastic Company with Greg Dean. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Earth Day.
All right, thanks.
See you next week.
All right, peace and love.